Good evening, guys. Give me 1 minute. I'm just opening Azure and I'll start recording. Uh, so I'm sharing my screen. I think everyone can see my screen. Okay. So I'll go to my data factory. So which data factory did we work on? Let's see. So then we have worked on this only Archana ID of one, last two pipelines. Okay, so in the second pipeline, what we discussed about three activities, get metadata, filter, and for each activity. Today, what we'll do is we'll understand more about linked services. Okay, so when I go to linked services, so we have already created two linked services. The storage account one is pointing at our storage account, which is Archana SA22. I'll go back to this and show you. So storage account, Archana SA22, this is a storage account which this linked service is pointing to. So while creating this, while creating this, we have the authentication by the account key only because it was just trying to authenticate with my subscription only. So, so when I create, yes. When we have created this, we have created from Azure subscription only. Today we will try to create uh, in a different method. So when I say I want to create the same link service, I'll say new. I'll go to same again Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2, continue, and we'll say storage account type 2. I mean the same thing, but we come to we'll use auto resolve integration runtime only. We use account key only for now. But here when we are creating it, last time what we did was we selected pay as you go subscription and it was giving me all the storage names that are available under pay as you go subscription. Right. So this time I what I want to do is I want to come to manually enter manually. So here it is asking me to give the URL of the storage account. So how do we give the URL of the storage account? Just a second, guys. So how do we give the URL of the storage account? It is like https colon slash slash. Then we give the name of the account. Then it's in the form of .dfs.core.windows.net. Just write it down before just giving it, and you type in. You can just type it like that in the account for the URL. Right? Okay. So https colon slash slash Archana say 22 dot dfs dot core dot windows dot net. Okay, so this is a URL. So this is the URL of this Archana Asset 22. Oh, we can see the same. We'll see overview where we can see this URL. Uh, Okay. Then it is asking for a storage account key. So normally last time when we created from Azure subscription, it was not asking any storage account key. It was just fetching out based on the subscription. So this time we did something like enter manually. So it is asking for storage account key. So we'll go to the storage account. Here we will have data storage, security and networking. In this we have something called access keys. Okay. So here if you see, we have key 1 and key 2, which says the first one it says key and connection string, and here it says key and connection string. You can you can use any of the keys, not the connection strings. So just say show, and you can say copy, and come back to data factory. You can paste it here, and when you say test connection, you should get connected to this. Okay, it says connection successful. You say create. Okay, so this is how we have connected to the second link service using. So first link service when we created, we created without the account URL and all. We it was only populating based on our storage account name and subscription. But this time when we have created, we use the enter manually option, and we created with URL and storage account key. So basically, if you want to connect to a different storage account of a different subscription, you can use this. We can use this URL and use the storage account key, so that you can connect from this data factory to a storage account which is somewhere else also. So this is like just the credentials of anything. It's like user ID and password. URL is the address, and this is the credentials. When we discussed how the link service works, we discussed it, right? We'll give the address of the type of uh, storage source of data we'll define, then we'll give the URL, then we'll give the account credential. So this is the credential, this is the URL. So we have connected using this. Okay, so uh, the same way we have the SQL DB. Last time, what did we do? We have connected the Azure subscription. Last time actually we selected this, so everything was populating on itself. So if everything was not populating on itself, we'll use this manually version. So here, fully qualified domain name would be this, database would be this, authentication would be this, and username would be this, and password and all is given. So we'll show you what is the parameterization in link service using this only. Just a second. So here in the fully qualified domain name, it is a name of the server it is asking for, right? ARCHANASRVR22 dot database dot windows dot net. So we'll see, we'll go back to our server. So there are our databases. So here you can see the server that we have created that day. Okay, here you can see the server name here. Archana SRVR22 database dot windows net. You can copy this and you can put it in the fully qualified domain name, the server name. So database name, you will know inside the server only we have the databases. Okay, or else we have created databases here, here only. You can go to the database directly here, where SQL Azure SQL database, say SQL databases. So this is the database. This is the server name. Archana SRVR22 is the server name. The same way Archana SQL DB22 is the database name, right? So we give the database name also here manually. Last time we did not give it that manually. It was automatically populated when we selected this Azure subscription. Then again, authentication type, we'll select SQL authentication only and say username and password, and we are connecting to this. Fine. So now what we'll do is uh, we will create a different database name under the same server. We'll go back to this. So here we'll say create another database name, database. Here the same subscription, this is the same resource group. Server is also same, Archana Server 22. And here we'll select a different database. Okay, here actually it is SQLDB 22. Here we'll name it as SQLDB 33. Okay, so we are creating a database so that we'll understand how to connect to these. It's pre-development environment, configure database, locally redundant, zero redundant backup storage. It is showing 398 INR. It is good networking. Review plus create. He'll ask for my ID and password. No, why server only it is asking, right? Nice tags, settings, security. Okay, now I am creating this. So let it create. We'll go back to this. So till now, what we have understood is to connect to a particular data source, there should be a particular link service. In link service, what are we declaring? The server or URL of the data source. Then we are giving the credentials. Okay, so we'll again start and create a link service which will point to SQLDB type only. We'll say here Azure SQLDB. Continue like last time only. So here what we'll say Azure SQL DB param. This is parameterized link service. That's why I have put param. I'm gonna show you how it is being parameterized. Why it is parameterized. Okay. So parameterization of link service works when you can use the same link service for a same type of data source. Okay, we'll take an example. I'll open a sheet. Okay, for creating a link service, what all do we need? When we say manually, we have domain name, then we have database name, then we have a username and password. Right, that's it, nothing else. Username, password. Okay, so that our requirement is to use the link service to reuse the link service or use a link service for more than one data source. I can use this link service for more than one data source when the type of data source is same. Type of data source, when it is same, I can use the link service multiple for more than one source of data. So when my type of data source is Azure SQL DB, we'll learn how to use this link service for all Azure SQL DBs by using parameterization. Parameter is nothing but what we'll do is we'll have the skeleton structure. We'll have the skeleton structure like what is the we'll not declare or we'll not hard code what is the domain name, what is the database name, what is the username, password. What we'll do is we will declare these fields domain name, database name, username, password as dynamic values. Okay, all these, or else we'll try with doing one database name as dynamic values, username and password would be same for domain for that server, and we'll try how to do it. Okay, so when we are creating this link service, we manually write, and here fully qualified domain name we'll get it from this server. So this is the server name. Copy this. Server name is we have created two databases in the same server. So server is name. So database name. Okay, here what I'll do is for database name, I want to parameterize it. So you come down on the link service, you can see something called parameters here. So click on new, it'll ask you to create a parameter. So I'll say DB name. DB name is my parameter, which is of type string. I just created it and I'll go here. When it is asking for DB name, I'll click on this. I'll say add dynamic content. I want to change this DB name value dynamically. I'll not hard code it. Previously, we gave the DB name here as what is available as a 22. So that it can get the data from there. Here what I am doing is I don't want to declare the DB name previously. Like initially I don't want to use it. While running the pipeline, I'll send what the DB name is. Then the pipeline will get to the DB and get the data, whether it is 22 or 33. We have two databases here. Fine. When you say I have two databases, Archana SQL DB 22 as Archana SQL DB 33. Fine. What my requirement is? I want to give the name of the database while running the pipeline, not not initially only. So here I'll say add dynamic content. It will show me I have created a parameter in this link service, right? It will show me parameters DB name. I'll select this DB name. Okay, so this DB name I'll declare or I'll send the value while running the pipeline. Okay, so here username and password are same. We'll just look at this same thing once. Sorry, cancel duplicate. So admin AR22 username is same. Password is also same. I am not. So for a SQL server, both user and password are same for all the databases. So this username will and password will work even if I change the database name. Fine. I will test the connection once. If I want to test the connection, it will ask for database name because it doesn't know which database to connect to. Fine. So I know the data name of my databases. Archana SQL DB 22. I will say test connection. It will ask my database name. When I say OK, it will just connect and see. Password is wrong or what? Okay, we'll just log into this and check because of the IP address. It may again block us. So firewall, we're asking the firewall to allow login from this IP, and we say okay. We logged in. So now it's say test connection again. It should work. Yeah. So you are able to access this database Archana SQL DB 22 from this link service. The same way, I'll test again, say test connection. I'll also check if I am able to access Archana SQL DB 33 with this link connection, link service. So it is also, I'm able to do this also. Now I am creating this link service. So in this link service, I did not hard code the database name. I want to use it while running the pipeline. Not, I did not hard code the This one, okay, DB name. I'll send it while running the pipeline. We'll see. This is Azure SQL DB param. This is the link service. Now, for a pipeline, what do we need? We have created the link service. Now we'll need data set. Moving to data set, we need to create a new data set. Say new data set. Again, we'll say which kind of database it is. Azure SQL DB. For that only, we have to create database Azure SQL DB. Continue. Here, linked service I have to use is Azure SQL DB param, and table name. I am not declaring the table name because I don't know the database name. Without knowing the database name, I can't know the table name. So what I'll do is I'll say okay here only. I'll go back to this ones. Wait, okay. So here, while creating database name, since the linked service doesn't know the database name, while creating a database dataset is asking for a DB name. So where should I go and fetch the table, or what table you want? You need to give me this database name, or else I don't know what to do. That's what it is asking me, right? What I'll do is I'll go to parameters. In dataset also, I don't want to give the database name here itself. I want to make it dynamic. I want to send while running the pipeline only. While running the pipeline only, I'll know which database to connect. Before that, I don't know. Okay. So here also I'll use a parameter. Go to parameters in this, create a new parameter which says DB name. Again, come back here. Here in DB name, I'll say this is my parameter. You'll get parameter from here. Okay. Then in table also you say this is generally tables are represented with schema name DBO. You can hard code this. In table name also, you don't know which table to connect. When you don't know which database to connect, you don't know which table to connect. We'll make this also as parameterized. We'll also give the table name while running the pipeline only. For this also, you need to create one parameter here which says table name, and come back here. So here you create this, you select the same thing, table name. Okay. Now there are two parameters created. Like that means that when we are running the pipeline, we have to tell the uh, pipeline that DB name and table name will be passed there, so that the link service and dataset will run and fetch the data from there from the DB name and table name. I will show you how you publish this. So we'll create a new pipeline. So my target is to create a pipeline to get the data from SQLDB and write it to the storage account in the form of CSV. I'll just put it here. My requirement. Just a second. My source, my destination. My source is SQLDB. My destination is storage account. Fine. Here for SQLDB, my source, I want to give DB name and table name when running the pipeline only, not before that. Storage account, I want to hard code it. You can do this also dynamically, but storage account, I want to do this hard coded. So what I'll go here only. I'll create an activity called copy activity. This is what we are using to copy data from source to destination, right? We'll go to sync. First, we'll set sync. So we have something called storage account. For storage account, we have CSV data set, CSV files, right? We have created previously, we have created a data set which is pointing at storage account. We'll use that only and say open, and this is going to input data. Okay, then if we don't want to use this also, we can create a new data set which is going to storage account ADLS Gen 2 Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2. Continue. Here I want to create a CSV file. Continue. Linked service, I can use storage account, storage SE1, linked service only. Okay, here I want to write the files to output data. Okay, so we have created data set that is writing files to our output data folder. We have used the existing linked service only on the data set has been changed. Because what do we declare in linked service? We'll say the type of storage account and name of the storage account and credentials. So we are using the same storage account. So in that storage account only in dataset we have declared that output data folder it should go. So output data folder we have selected here while creating the dataset. Okay. So while sync is set, sync is hard coded. We are not changing anything dynamically. While coming to source, we have to create a source. We have already created a source dataset, which is Azure SQL table 1. Okay. Here, see here, these are the pipeline values, right? While creating linked service, it asks for my database name. I said that I'll pass dynamically. I created a parameter there. While creating of dataset also, it asks for me what is the database name, what is the table name. I said that I'll create it parameter. I'll create dynamically only. I will not pass it there. I created a parameter given there. Here, while creating the pipeline also, it is asking me what is the database name, what is the table name. If I write it here, it is hard coded value. It will not like it. There is no use of all creating parameters. Here also, what I have to do is I have to create two parameters in the pipeline. So how do we create parameters in the pipeline? You click on this on the canvas beside the activity. You will see parameters here. You create the parameters here. Pipeline parameter, table name, string value, and you say pipeline parameter DB name. I'm creating two values here. When I go to my activity, if I say DB name, I can add dynamic content. I create this, I can use this pipeline database name and say okay. And table name, I can add dynamic content. I say pipeline table name and say okay. Okay. Now two parameters are already created in this pipeline. These are also parameters. Then whatever value will go here in this pipeline table name and pipeline DB name, those data with using those data will be fetched from respective DB name and table name, and it will go to my sync. My sync is what my sync I have created. This is all fixed. This is not dynamic output data in that folder. It will go. It is not dynamic. It is all hard coded. Fine. So when I say publish all, you'll publish this. So seems like publish is done. So I'll close this. So whenever I run this pipeline, it will ask me this DB name and table name. That is what I was programming for, right? When I run this pipeline, it should ask me DB name and table name. It should not go directly and check from the hard coded values. Okay, when I run this pipeline, when I say validate and debug, it will ask me table name. Okay, and DB name. So what is my DB name? My DB name is Archana SQL DB 22. We'll see. Table name, what is my table name? What table do I have? TPO.employee. I'll say employee only. EMPLOYE. So I am passing these two values. When I say OK, the pipeline will run and use these two values to get data from database and table and copy it to storage account. My source is my database and table, which I have given while running the pipeline, not previously. I'll tell you what is the use also. Okay, now we'll just see whether the data went to our destination or not first. Go to storage account. Archana SA22 only. Containers. Output data. So employee.txt, this is the file we are getting. So when we go to edit, we can see that the data has come from the source. Okay, now I want you guys to ask questions. I am sure that you're all confused. I know that. If we can start a discussion, it'll be more clear. I mean, I can clear your doubts. Is there anyone who has understood completely or ठीक ठाक लग रहा है किसी को?
मतलब ठीक ठाक है बट आई हैव क्वेश्चन लाइक
Yes.
when we do automatically, so like why it is required?
Why to give manually? Okay, okay. That's
Yes.
what I say. That's what I'll tell you. If I created this copy data, no, what happens is, what I'll do is I'll use the same pipeline. If there are say two requirements, I'll tell you just a second. That this question is easily answerable. Say my requirement is to say there is one source again, one destination. 7 o'clock, one job is there. 8 o'clock, one job is there. 7 o'clock, I have to take data from my data 22 database. And 8 o'clock, I have to take data from my 33 database. And both the times, I have to put in the same destination. That is my output data folder. Here also output folder only. So actually speaking, if I'm hard coding everything, for this work, the 7 o'clock work, I'll build a different pipeline. For 8 o'clock, I'll work different pipeline. I'll build different pipeline. In this, I'll give source as database name 22 and build link service and dataset. Here also, I'll build same pipeline. I'll build and I give database name as 33 and output of same folder. So when this type of source is also same, this destination is also same, only change is in database name, right? So why I need two pipelines? Why pipeline 1, pipeline 2? I can just make this as dynamic and just see that while at 7 o'clock this 22 goes into my database name, and then 8 o'clock this 33 goes into my database name. Then same pipeline can be used both the times, right?
Right,
So
right, right.
so here what I'm saying is, here I gave it manually. What you asked me is right. I typed when it is running, I typed it manually. But what happens is, moving forward, we'll see this is just parameterization. There is something called set variable or something. Okay. What we'll do is this variable value will be updated. What this variable do is it will get value from somewhere else. And this copy data, this source value is there, no DB name. This data will come from here. You got me?
Okay,
Moving forward,
okay,
you learn. Only thing I am saying is the same pipeline, the same structure can be used for two different input values.
okay.
Like if you have some knowledge of, like, I'll tell you what, we have some electronic item in our kitchen, right? Say mixie grinder hai. So we have to grind something. The grinder is same, but whatever you are putting in it differs, right? So it will do grinding only.
Right,
You don't need two grinders for make grinding one kind of item and other kind of item. The same infrastructure is same we have created. While sending that, we'll use while running this pipeline, we'll use database name and table name differently so that it will do the same job.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yeah. Guys, more questions, guys. Any questions? Anyone understood? Anyone पूरा बाउंसर गया किसी के लिए? Or step by step, if you want me to repeat?
Yeah, step by step repeat will be helpful.
Yes, Vilas?
Yeah, if you, yeah,
Vilas, you will
yeah,
not understand this before
okay,
without previous class, because previous class we did with standard values, hard coded values.
okay, got it.
Once you go through that, then you go through this, then you have doubt, you ping me, we'll connect.
Okay, sure.
Sure. Whoever attended the previous class, or you have saw the previous video, it is simple, like what did we do last two classes, or before last class? We created an pipeline one, if you remember. We'll come to this. We created a copy data activity. In source, what did we do? uh, we Everything we gave hard code only. We created data set, we created a link service. In sync also we created one data set link service. In sync it was SQLDB, in source it was storage account. Here what I am doing is, I did not uh, uh, my source is changing dynamically. Basically I want to give the values for DB name and table name whenever the pipeline is running, not when it is not hard coded. So whenever the pipeline is running, it will ask me, or else normally it is asking me, I'm giving this here manually, right? So, or else what I'll do is, here also I'll ask, moving forward you'll understand how to put set variable and all. We will give it where to get these values from. So whenever you're running the pipeline, it will take the values from that and it will run. Okay, so we will try that also. Say we'll say publish this. Say trigger, we'll add a trigger to this. New trigger, trigger 2. Okay, so today's date only, time, say we'll say 10 o'clock, 22:00. This should be 00. Okay, this should run, say, every 1 minute. Okay, specified end date. Okay, schedule trigger. Okay, it is asking for my table name and DB name here. This trigger is asking for my table name, DB name here. Okay. If I give my table name as EMPLOYEE, my DB name as SQLDB 22, ARCHNA SQLDB 22. Okay. So I said, okay, it got created. I am saying publish. Okay. So I have created this trigger, right? We have seen creation of triggers also. Here, what did I declare? This trigger should run on 24th February night 10 p.m. And what are the trigger values? In this trigger is attached to this pipeline. When I created it, it asked me trigger values. What did I give the trigger values here? In table name, I put employee. In DB name, Archana SQL DB 22, I gave it here. So whenever this trigger will run, it will take the values and it will put it in this pipeline. Fine. Now I'll show you what I'll do. I'll create a different trigger again. I'll create a different trigger, new, say new trigger. This is trigger 3 schedule. Same time, here what I'll see, here it is not 10 o'clock. This is 11 o'clock. I'm just example, we don't need to wait till then. Okay, so when I say this also should run every 1 minute. And I say, okay, here it is again ask for table name and DB name. Here if I say EMPLOYEE and DB name I say Archana SQL DB 33. Okay, publish. So this pipeline has two triggers. Means the first trigger will run at 10 o'clock. So while running the trigger while running, it gives the two values pipeline. What values it will give? Table name employee and Archana SQL 22 wala name it will give to this pipeline. What will the other trigger give? Trigger 3, what it will give the values? It will give employee and 33. So like I said in the same example, it is 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, etc. Here it is like this, the same 10 p.m. and 11 p.m. When this pipeline is running, it will take the SQLDB name as 22. While this pipeline is running, it is taking the SQL name as 33. So the same pipeline for two different timings, we are using the same pipeline for two different databases that is going, right? Got it? Okay, so here we had two different databases. We are using same pipeline to go to single destination. Here destination also we can parameterize and say that if source is this, destination should be this. If source is this, destination should be this. So it's the same way here. If 10 o'clock source is 22 and destination output folder only, what I'll do is 11 o'clock source is 33. Output folder I'll say this is folder 1. Here I can parameterize this output folder also and say folder 2. Then what will happen? The same pipeline. The pipeline name is pipeline 3. Here also the pipeline name is pipeline 3. What will happen? The same pipeline at 10 o'clock, it will take the value of 22. Pipeline will run, it will put in folder 1. At 11 o'clock, it will take the value of 33. It will run the pipeline 3 and it will put in folder number 2. Right now we got the use of it. We are not hard coding anything now. We are supplying the value to this dynamic pipeline while the pipeline is running only.
Okay. And how many database we can like implement? Is there any threshold like
No
4 or
threshold,
5?
no
Okay.
threshold. You can have how many values. You will be just creating parameters. You'll have triggers only. That's it. If you want 12 databases to access, you can create 12 triggers here and just have the values there. Or moving forward, you'll understand it can get these values from other variables also. Or yesterday when we saw this pipeline 2, right? Yeah, for each wala, what it was doing, it was getting values from here only, no? From get metadata, it was getting. For each item, it was getting a different value and it was performing the copy data, right? If you remember.
Right.
The same here also what we did for this copy data, we parameterized actually. Sync source open. Here we parameterized by creating a parameter item name. Same item name, we read it here as parameter. We read the name from item. Whenever each item is coming out of metadata, we read the name from it, and for each activity was running this same copy data again and again for different items. The same way here also the same pipeline will run for all the inputs different. If you have uh, some file, take an example, we'll build that also, or else the same way this for each is there. Here we are taking data from database to storage account. If we have 10 files in one storage account, say, and we can build a for each activity put this copy data dynamically in the for each activity. Then each time one name is coming, this copy data activity will run. The same way here it is there, no? Is copy data this here also? We have source, we have made this dynamic. We have used parameters only. We have created item name. Here item name, we said that item name will be taken from whatever item is getting into for each uska item dot name बोल के उसका will take that name. We said that it is taken in the same way. Here also we are doing that only. It is taking from the trigger here, nothing else. Here it was taking from for each, it is taking from item. Here it is taking from trigger.
ओके, और इसके लिए मतलब सर्वर तो सेम रहना चाहिए, उसके अंदर डिफरेंट डिफरेंट
Yes,
डेटाबेस से ले।
I'll tell you that also. And only thing is here for not to get confused, I said that server is to be same.
Right.
Here if you click on, you can make this also as dynamic content. And
Right,
if you have this value coming from somewhere else, you can have different server name, different database name, different username and password. You can do this username password also as dynamic content. Then if you have four different values, if you have four values in some record or something, if you are sending these four values, you can use the same linked service to run, not pipeline. This is for linked service. We are creating parameters in this linked service. You can use the same linked service again and again if you are parameterizing all of these four values.
Okay, but in our case we have just
Parameterized
parameterized
only
the
database name. Yes,
database only.
only
Okay.
database name, for only because we are doing this for the first time. And if I do all four, it will become more
Confusing.
complicated. It is, we will not understand the usage of that also. So I have dynamically I parameterize this database name. Okay,
Okay.
guys, more questions? Anybody other than Pankaj?
Hi, Shashank, Prasad here.
Hi, Prasad.
Yeah, so one question.
Yes.
As we have a server and we are in server, we have a database where we have around 15 to 20 tables. Okay.
Okay.
So behalf of all the 15 to 20 tables, we have created one pipeline. Okay.
Okay.
So, like my question is, just let us take an example. We have table one and table two,
Okay.
and we just want to run those table one and table two. Then in this case, again, we have to give the date, like how it we have to run the pipeline.
Yeah, the same way. Since
Okay,
you are asking about same database but different tables, right? So
exactly.
yeah, in linked service, what we are doing is database name is we have declared dynamic, but here what we'll do, we'll make it standard in linked service. The table name we are declaring at data set level. Here while we did while we created this data set, we said that we created a parameter, and we said that database name should also come from this. Okay, we'll do that. Okay, what you have asked, we'll do that completely. Okay, what we'll do is yeah,
My connection.
yes, we'll create a link service. We'll do what you said, that is simple. We can do that. Azure SQL DB. Say this is param2. So in link service, there is no change. There is no dynamically. So you can use this only. Server name is a server 22. Database name is 22. Same database we are using. We are not changing in the database. So this is, I don't remember the admin. Just a second. ADMIN AR22. Password also, since server has a single password, I can use the same ID password. So there is no difference in linked service. Let me create this linked service. The linked service is same. Now we'll create dataset. We'll go to datasets.
So every time, like whenever there is a deployment, I have like one has to do all these things, or how it is?
No, we'll create a pipeline for once. We'll use the pipeline every time it is running.
Okay. So let us take an example, as I said, where there are 15, like 10 tables, and we have
Yes,
created one single pipeline for the 10 tables, okay? Which is
yes,
for one
yes,
database, we have created one single pipeline for 10 tables, okay? And
yes,
whenever we are creating two more tables,
yeah.
so those will be included while running the pipeline.
Yes, if your table names are in a list of CSV file or an
Okay,
XLS file, you can get it from there. Here, what I did, my
okay,
previously, my for pipeline 3, I put the tables in two different triggers, right?
got it.
It is getting the
Yes.
values from triggers. If your
Okay,
table names, you want to use the same pipeline, if your table names are listed in a CSV file, we'll go to those activities later. You have something called lookup
scope
activity.
data, we
You
everything.
you will get each table name. Each time it is running, it will get the each table name. It will run.
Okay,
Same thing. Now we have created the link service, right? Now we'll create a data set. In data set, we'll parameterized. So yeah, Azure SQL database only. Just a second. So here we're creating a data set. We are using this param2, which is not parameterized, just standard link service. Here in table name, we'll say okay. We'll not give table name. Here when we said we'll give this as DBO, and table name here we'll parameterize. To parameterize this, you have to go to parameter, create a parameter here, table name. Okay, we'll come back here. We'll click on this. It will ask for add dynamic content. We'll select table name. So now this data set is parameterized. This data set is publish this. This is parameterized. Whenever you this, I'll show you in a copy activity. While selecting this parameter name is Azure SQL table 2. Okay, remember this. Go to new pipeline. Here we'll create an copy activity for source. We will say Azure SQL table 2. So here
okay,
we have not given any table name. Table name is parameterized, but DB name is there. Fine, DB is already fixed. So table name we have to give the parameter value, that dynamic value. So where will we get this table name from? We'll create a parameter on the pipeline level. Here you can create a table name pipeline level, or else if you have some source, that source you can read and you can give it here. If there is something called we'll go to that again, but say some set variable. Here I'll create a variable xyz and string my variable name as employee. Okay, and we'll come to set variable again, guys. I just wanted to show my copy data activities this side. My table name, when I say add dynamic content, it is taking from my pipeline where table name, or if I go to variables, I'll see xyz. It will read the value from my xyz. So if there is some service that is putting the values in the set variable, you can get it from here. Or else if there is a hard coded, it employee will come from here to here. So actually this is the copy data activity which you asked for. Source
yeah,
only we have dynamically made this table name only parameterized. So it will take data from whatever source it is given. Here if I said take it from variable, it is taking from variable xyz. If I say not variable, take it from pipeline parameter, it will take from pipeline parameter. In
yeah,
parameters, I have table name, right? If I say from table name parameter, it will take from table name parameter. So it will take that and it will run. If you have all your 15 from a notebook or CSV, there is something called lookup activity. We'll go to that tomorrow. We'll understand in the next class. Using this lookup activity, you can read a file, all the values in that file, if they're in array format. In that you have all your table names, right? Table 1, table 2, table 3, table 4. Each one value will come. Each one value you can read here and you can run this copy data.
okay. And one
As
more doubt, Shank.
yes,
Like
yes,
as the pipeline frequency duration you kept for 10 o'clock and 11 o'clock, right?
yes,
And I have just deployed something in the pipe in the database, and I just want to trigger immediately
yeah.
before 10 o'clock or before 11 o'clock. So in this case, how we will trigger that?
You click on this, you say trigger now. The
Okay,
pipeline will run.
Okay.
Yeah. You can trigger how many times you want. When you created a trigger, which is scheduled trigger, right? For that you have
Yes.
given times. That is for
Yes.
real world purposes, like whenever you have requirement and all. Normally, if you want to run this pipeline, you do changes on this pipeline. Whatever you do, you say validate, you say debug. This whole pipeline is running. Here it will ask for this because it is here. The whole pipeline will run.
Got
Debug
it.
is nothing but single time it will run. Or else you can say trigger now also the whole pipeline will run.
Okay.
And you
And
can,
in
yeah, tell me.
okay, and in case of failure, from where we will check the error message?
Yeah. When you say debug, the pipeline running here, you will get it in the bottom. Here you can just say, here it will show you. If it is succeeded, it is not showing me. If I say, if it is failed, no, if I click here, it will show the error message. Or else go to the monitoring tab.
Okay.
Here it will show the all the triggered pipelines here. When I go to debug, it will show my all my debugged pipelines here.
Got it. Yeah.
If it is failed, you'll get a small box here. Click on this, you will get the error. What is the error? And if you go to this pipeline, it will show all the activities. Here only we have one activity. If you have multiple activities, it will show all the activities one by one, how much time it took, start time, run time, and all it will show. If there is an error, you click on that, that error message will show. We'll come to that when we build more longer pipelines. We'll see how we'll monitor and all.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Guys, more questions?
Like in real world scenario, do we create the server inside this Azure data factory only, or we will connect it with our SQL servers?
It can be use case basis, Pankaj. Both can be done. Both possibilities are there, right?
Okay.
So if the organization completely is dependent on Azure, it is from starting also it is using Azure only. So its server will be here only, its database will be here only, everything will be here only. Or else, if the organization has already started somewhere newly adopted this Azure platform, maybe it is having server. It is not when it has started also. If there is a different use case for that organization, say it has so many users and it is maintaining some server elsewhere. Say it is maintaining server MS SQL server on some on-prem also or different cloud also it can maintain, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that depends on the use case. Every
Okay.
time it need not be Azure, it need not be outside also.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys, more questions. Because it is confusing. If you want to repeat, want me to repeat again, I'll repeat again, or else. Everyone is good with this?
Sashank, I have a doubt regarding the parameter flow. So
Yes.
it will be like pipeline parameter, then data set, and then linked service, or it is vice versa?
Yes. The flow of parameter will go from pipeline to dataset, then to link service.
Okay.
While creating, we'll create in the reverse order. First,
Okay.
we'll create parameter in the linked service. I think you joined late, right? First, we'll create in the link service whenever you are doing this. Yeah, we'll parameterize this database name here. Okay, while creating this, and we'll come to dataset because without link service, you can't create a dataset, right? A dataset should make use of link service. Whenever you're creating a dataset, when you're creating a dataset, I'll show you. First, it'll ask for a link service only. So without this link service, you can't create a data set only. So you'll come back in this order. Create a link service, parameterize it, then come to data set, create a data set, parameterize it, use the same value, come to pipeline, then create a pipeline variable, then parameterize, use that there. The same way we have done here. You come back in the order. But when you're sending it, when you're sending the value into pipeline, first it will take the value here. Then pipeline will check for dataset. So which file to get? It will give the value to dataset. Then dataset say, where is my storage account or where is my SQL DB? It will send to link service. Then link service says, okay, I got these two values. I'll go and check with my source of data. It will go there and get the data.
Okay. Got it.
Got it? But when you're creating, you'll come in the reverse order because You can't have a data set without a link service, and you can't have a activity, any kind of activity without a data set and link service. So you come back in the order creating it, but when you are running the pipeline, it will go in this order. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you start creating it, you'll get more clarity. Yeah, okay. Guys, more questions. Ram, doubts? Okay, so here we have done this source only parameterization. We can do the same way, we can parameterize the sink also. Here, what is our sink delimited text for, right? Okay, we are sending it to output data. Here, we can dynamically change this and put input data, output data, two values you can send, and you can send it to the whatever value you want. So if I say dynamic content, we don't have a parameter here. We'll create a parameter here for sync. We'll say folder name. Same connection. If I say output data, I'm not declaring it here. I'll say dynamic content and I'll say folder name. Okay, I'll publish it. Here it is asking my folder name. Here what I'll say again, I'll say parameters here only. I'll create one parameter here. Folder name in copy activity sync. When it is asking for folder name, I'll say folder name. Okay, this is clear now. Publish. So when I'm running this, what all it will ask? It will ask my DB name, table name, and folder name also. I have dynamically changed the sync also. I'll asking for table name, folder name here. So whatever value you give here, it will go to that folder. If I say in trigger also, trigger to, okay. Here also if I folder name here, for this trigger to, I'll give input data. For a trigger 3, I will give output data. Let it save. It is running every 1 minute, right? Our trigger 2 is running every 1 minute, which we have put at 10 o'clock. If you see the pipeline here, it will show you all the activities. When you have created this trigger, trigger 2 is, you can see the triggers here also. Triggers, trigger 2, we put it to start at 10 o'clock and every 1 minute we have scheduled it. So it is running. You come to monitor, come to triggered. So every 1 year is running. Here it is failed because we have made some changes here. So that's why it is failed. Now it is see, it is going every 1 minute, it's running. If you go to every run, you have to click on pipeline 3. Every run, it will show you what all the activities are there. Here only one activity. If you say pipeline, we have different pipeline also. Now, if there are more activities, it will show up all the activities that are there in this single run. Here, how you can monitor. If there is a failure here, you can do it. Here, what is a failure? We were correctly changing the path of that folder. We are parameterizing it while this pipeline was running. So it got failed. This ran at 10:08. Now again it is done. Something will run at 10:09. Yeah, 10:09 something has started again. You see the folders, input and output folders, you will see so many files now. Every 1 minute some file has been created, I guess. Employee.csv input data. Now we'll go to output data, containers, output data. Okay, so this file is being overwritten. Employee.txt, employee.txt, employee.txt is being overwritten. Okay. If we create a different name with different name or put the name as timestamp, you will get more files. Again, one at 10:08, one at 10:09. Okay, guys, more questions? So we understood how to parameterize link services, how to parameterize datasets, right? Then how to parameterize a pipeline. How to parameterize a pipeline? Here we created, right? These are the parameters that we are sending in the pipeline. We create a parameter. We click on this canvas. You can create parameters here. You can send values from here. If you have pipeline values, you can also send the values from triggers also. First, what I'll do is when you're practicing also, when your trigger is running overnight, tomorrow morning you'll get a nice bill. So stop them. Stop your triggers and publish them. You don't want the triggers to run overnight. Less only, but it will bill you. So stop your triggers. Only when needed, you can run your triggers. Or else every minute we have scheduled it, it is running every minute. By tomorrow morning, it will be run somewhere around 1,000 times. Then you'll get a small bill. So just take care of that. Okay, so now we have integration runtimes, right? We discussed that there is an auto resolve integration runtime that is created automatically here, right? So now we'll try to create an integration runtime here. Say go to new, say self-hosted integration runtime. Select this, say continue, select self-hosted only. Say continue. It will ask me just what is the name of this integration runtime. I'll say I'll put today's date at least 24/02/2025. I'll say create. Okay. So when I explain that integration runtime, it should point to some virtual machine or to a system outside Azure, or else outside this platform. It here auto resolve integration runtime is automatically created when we created a data factory. So what does auto resolve integration runtime do? It will help all the services which are local to Azure. It will work whenever you are using it. So when we created these link services, right? I'll show you again link services. For all the link services here, it is by default, it is taking as auto resolve integration runtime. For all the link services, if you have observed, auto resolve integration runtime is also, it is taking by default, it will take, but it will work only if the services are on Azure platform. For creating a different integration runtime, we have created one, say integration runtime 24 to today date, we put it, you click on this. So this will, this needs to point to some machine on some network, it has to point, so that you have to link to it. So for example, you can set up the same machine on your desktop or laptop also. Okay. Uh, Here there's a manual setup option. Go to download and install integration runtime. Say download. You can have the latest one. Select something, not an issue. runtime 5.45, we'll go to 5.50, download. Okay, or else, just a second, I'll find out if my yeah, I have integration runtime already here. We'll install using this only. We'll cancel this. We'll come here. We'll use 5.45. It's already downloaded. When let's say download and install integration runtime, I'm just using the same copy on my system only. I am running this installation, just installing this integration runtime. It will not do anything. You can just install and uninstall, not an issue. I'm just showing you how it will point to your integration runtime. Okay, let it install. Since integration runtime is here, when I said that when integration runtime points to my system, right? If it is unavailable, again integration runtime won't work. Basically, integration runtime when it is pointing to my system, I'm installing integration runtime on my system. So this here integration runtime 24 to 2025 will point to my this laptop. Okay, I'm just copying this key here. Say paste it and say register. Now my desktop is registered as a new node on this integration runtime 24 to 2025. Okay, I say finish. This is all done. This is working. So apply. You'll say refresh. Nodes. Here, what happened? Shooting, self-hosted, authentication key. Yes. So connected to cloud service. It is running. Close settings. So now it is running. It is connected to my system, right? So this is my system. This is the IP address of my computer. So here I have used my LAPI as node. Normally what we do is we'll see that also we'll uh, get a virtual machine on Azure platform and we'll point the integration runtime to that virtual machine. So why do we need this integration runtime? Whenever there are sources or destination, any kind of data of source, I mean source of data outside the Azure platform, to access that, we'll use this integration runtime. This auto resolve integration runtime only works when the services are local to Azure platform. But you need this integration runtime to work when the services are outside Azure. So in next class, what we'll do is we'll set up a service outside Azure. I mean, while I'll set up before only and we'll come. We'll try to connect to the service which is not on Azure. We'll try to pull some data from there, and for that we'll use this integration runtime. Okay, any doubts, guys? It is not compulsory that you create integration runtime on your system. It is safe only. That's I just showed you how to create it. In next class, we'll create a virtual machine and we'll point to that.
Outside, like from yeah, some website, like through API or database.
I'll see that I'll set up some database on a different system so that we can get it from there.
Okay.
API is also different one. We'll see that also.
Okay.
Yep. Any doubts, guys?
No session.
Parameterization is good. Okay. So if you have any doubts, just once again watch the video. You'll get your recording by today midnight. So do it parallelly. If you have doubts, just compare between last class and this class. I mean, last before class we have created everything hard coded, right? See what we have hard coded there. Then see this video about what we are changing dynamically. Then you'll get some comparison between what is static. I mean, what is hard coded and what is dynamic. And you'll get more clarity on that. If still you have any doubts, you can ping me on WhatsApp. And there is no class on Wednesday. I am not available on Wednesday. We'll meet on Friday, and if possible, Friday we'll decide if we can have that extra class on Saturday. If you all guys are available, if there is no issue, we'll decide on Friday. And if that Wednesdays we are missing that class, right? If you guys are available, we can have that same class on Saturday. Fine, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Guys, any questions?
No session.
Yeah, so we discussed parameterization today, right? So moving forward, almost all the pipelines will be using this parameterized datasets and parameterized link services only. Like in the previous class, when we created pipeline 2, for each activity we use the copy data as parameterized only. So the same way moving forward, almost we'll use this parameterized concept for all datasets and link services, because you don't need link services for each and every data source. Only for each different data source you'll need a link service. For each and every data source you'll not need a link service. Basically when you come and see in an normal in an organization, if you create all the link services, right, you'll have one link service, one type of database. Say one Azure SQL database, one link service, or one Postgre, one, or like that. Okay. All others you will do by parameterization only. You can create if you want. If you don't want to have confusion, you can create, but there is no use, or you'll just confuse when there are more number of link services here also. So you can use same type of link service. You can parameterize it, and you can use on different pipelines and data sets and all. Okay, so we'll leave here. Since we understood parameterization, we'll do more pipelines, more activities we can run from Friday. Okay, we'll meet on Friday, and please watch the previous video recordings. There is no class on Wednesday, but I will be available on phone, WhatsApp, computer. Whenever you saw the videos, you're practicing. You have any doubts, you can ping me on WhatsApp. If I am busy, I'll get back to you in half an hour or 1 hour, but I'll come back to you for sure. Normally, I reply instantaneously only because I work from home only. So you can ping me. I'll get back to you. If you have serious complications, we can connect also online. Not an issue. Just practice, because from Friday we'll ramp up and we'll be going into more complicated stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys.
Sure.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. Thank you.